Today we will be taking the block course 3. The course is Food Chemistry and Physiology, and I have with me our senior colleague and senior consultant Dr. J.S. Sidhu, who retired as a principal scientist from National Dairy Research Institute, Karnal. Dr. Sidhu, please.
Today we are going to discuss a very interesting subject, which is food science. And food chemistry and food physiology are the two branches of food science. Now, since time immemorial, human beings have adopted, perhaps by hit and trial and by instinct, a variety of food. This combination of foods has enabled the human race to survive. Now, as the progress of human race, there has been large-scale migration, expedition, and great wars. And as a result of these events, man was deprived from the food which he was used to eat, resulting into different food-related diseases. Now, fortunately, during this period, many branches of science like physics, chemistry, mathematics, and biology, they made a tremendous progress. Now, as a result of the progress in these, the human being, the quest for the human being to know about his food made him to adopt certain discipline, and thus was born the discipline of food science. Now, food science is an interdisciplinary subject which consists chemistry, engineering, chemistry, mathematics, biology, physics, and engineering, and thus it makes a discipline of food science and technology. Now, food science deals with physical, chemical, and first slide. So I will be discussing it under two headings: the overview of food chemistry and the overview of food physiology. First, the overview of food chemistry. We will be discussing the introduction, what is food chemistry, the history of food chemistry, functions of food chemistry, which include chemical composition of food, quality changes in food, safety evaluation of food, waste management, societal role. Now, the food science deals with physical, chemical, and biological properties as they relate to solubility, quality, processing, safety, wholesomeness, convenience, and cost of the food. Now, food chemistry deals with composition of food, properties of food, and then chemical changes, physicochemical changes taking place in food during handling, processing, and storage, and also monitoring of adulterants and toxicants. First, I will discuss something about the historical development of food chemistry. The different food chemistry is as old as human civilization, but it was not identified as a separate discipline till the 20th century. The scientist Carl Wilhelm Sale, he is considered the greatest scientist of food chemistry because he did pioneering work in food chemistry. He isolated and studied the properties of lactose from milk, malic acid from apple, and citric acid from lemon. He also tested large number of foods for the organic acid content of malic acid, citric acid, and tartaric acid, and he discovered several new compounds. The Anthony Laurent Lavoisier also tested large number of fruits for organic acid, and also he was the first person to show that the fermentation can be expressed as balanced equation. After that, Theodore de Saussure, he he studied the exchange of carbon dioxide and oxygen during respiration of plant. Also, he determined the mineral content through acing of plants. Now, Joseph Louis Gay-Lussac and Louis Joseph Thernard, they were the first to devise a method for the determination of percentage of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen in foods. Then after that, the Sir Humphrey Davy, he isolated calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, strontium and barium from food products. He also wrote a book on agriculture chemistry. In his book, Elements of Agriculture Chemistry, he stated that different proportion of carbon, hydrogen and oxygen are present in food either alone or in few cases in combination with nitrogen. Now after that, Jones Jacob Berzelius, he determined the elemental composition of 2000 compounds by verifying the law of definite proportion. And later on, Justice von Liebig, he wrote a book on food chemistry, the research on food chemistry. His book is considered as the first book of food chemistry. He also divided the food constituent in two groups, the nitrogenous, for example, casein, gluten, etc., and the non-nitrogenous, the food containing carbohydrates, lipids, etc. Now, by the half of the 20th century, all the food constituent, namely the carbohydrate, proteins, lipids, vitamins and minerals were discovered and characterized. Now after that, we come to food chemistry, which deals with chemical composition of food, means the carbohydrate, protein, lipids, vitamins, minerals and nutraceuticals. These carbohydrate, proteins and lipids are termed as major component because, or major nutrients, because they are taken in large quantity, whereas the vitamins and minerals are termed or named as minor constituent because they are taken in small quantity. They are also known as protective constituent because they do not contribute to the body building or to the energy, but they protect the human beings against diseases. The nutraceutical is another group of components which protect us against diseases. The knowledge of food constituent or knowledge of food chemistry helps us in formulation of diet, formulation of balanced diet. Balanced diet is that diet in which all the nutrients are present in the proportion in which they are required by our body. The nutrition labeling of food also it helps in the nutrition labeling of food. Then deciding the serving size of what should be the size of one serving also helps. Then it also helps in the modification of food. For example, in the production of fermented food, there are different fermented food like dahi, yogurt, etc. So food chemistry helps us in this aspect of food science. Then quality of food can be divided into two categories. The sensory quality, which relate to the color, appearance, then color, appearance, firmness, mouthfeel, flavor and taste. While the hidden quality is related to nutrient contents of the food and the adulterants and toxicants which are present, and also different additives which are added to food. Quality changes in food. Now during handling, processing and storage, there are quality changes in food which are affected by two variables, the product factors and the environmental factors. Product factor consists chemical composition of food, the pH of the food, and the available water content. While the environmental factors are related to temperature, time of storage, light, and the access of the microbes and insects to food, and gas composition of the storage. Now the adulteration of food. Different constraints are, or different substances are added to food. For example, milk is adulterated with water, sugar, and starch, etc. The spices or condiments, they are adulterated with sand, paddy husk, tamarind seed or tamarind powder, like these things. Then fat and oils are adulterated with mineral oils, argemone oil, and animal fat. If it is the plant fat, it is added sometimes with tallow, which is animal fat. Then cereal and cereal grains are adulterated with kesari dal, coloring matter, talc, and then inorganic pigments. Then beverages are adulterated with artificial coloring matter, artificial flavor, and excessive preservatives. Then coffee and tea are adulterated with cashew nut endocarp, date seeds, tamarind seeds, and sawdust. Ice cream is adulterated with artificial sweeteners, artificial flavors, and non-permitted colors, and also sometimes with animal fat. Vinegar is adulterated with mineral acids, and alcoholic drink are adulterated with methanol or chloral hydrate. Now, overview of food physiology. It will be introduction, then morphological characteristics, post-harvest physiology of fruit and vegetables, and structural changes during growth and ripening of fruit and vegetable, then compositional changes during growth and ripening. And the morphological characteristics: growth, cell division and enlargement; maturation, senescence, which is anabolic changes to catabolic changes; then ripening, it is the later stage of maturation, and the first stage of senescence means when the fruit or vegetable get decayed or deteriorated. Growth and development. Many cells make plant body. Each cell consists living system which is called protoplasm. Protoplasm is composed of cytoplasm and nucleus. The individual cells divide, differentiate into particular type of cells and group of cells called tissues and organs. Then development of fruits and seed. And outer whole of sepals means first the flower. How the flower is developed, there are different leaves. First group is called as sepals, which is the outer layer. Generally they are green and called calyx in a group. Then second group is petals, which are usually curved and in combination called corolla. Then third is stamens, which consist pollen grains and male germ cells. Then fourth group is the pistil, which consists one or more sections which are known as carpels bearing female germ cells, and later the seeds. These parts are mounted on a portion of a stem called receptacle. The growth regulators, they play an important role. A fruit develops from ovary, from the ovules of ovary. Now, initiation of fruit development, the male cell from the pollen grain transferred to the tip of the stigma. It is called, this is called the pollination. Then male cell gametes fused with female cells, female gametes, and this process is called the fertilization. The fertilized cell, which is known as zygote, further grow, divide, differentiate and develop into a new plant embryo, which is enclosed in the seed coat, and ovary develops into a fruit, fleshy fruit. Then physiology of growth and development. Now the chlorophyll or the green color which is present in plants, it with the help of carbon dioxide of the atmosphere and water and then energy of sun, with the help of these things, three things, it produces the food of the plant, which are the sugars. Now this food of the plant, which is synthesized by the photosynthesis, is stored in roots, bulbs, then tubers and corms, rhizomes, fruits and seeds. Now morphological changes during ripening of fruit. Respiration, it is when the fruits and vegetables are harvested, they continue to respirate, and there is a intake of carbon dioxide and loss of oxygen. Now this, after the fruits are harvested, there is a sudden increase in the rate of respiration. This type of fruits are known as climatic fruits, and in those fruits or vegetables which do not have this peak of respiration, they are called non-respimatic fruit or vegetables. Then there is a transpiration. When the fruits or vegetables are harvested, they do not get water from the mother plant, but they lose the water as a result of transpiration, and the shelf life of the vegetables or fruit depend on the transpiration, that how much water per hour is evaporated. For example, in case of peas, the 50 milligram of water is evaporated per kg of peas per hour, and because of large amount of water which get evaporated, the shelf life of pea is only 1 week. On the other hand, in case of the cabbage or turnip, particularly turnip, in case of turnip, only 6 milligram of water is evaporated per kg of turnip per hour, and therefore because of the low rate of water which get evaporated, the shelf life of turnip is from 6 to 8 weeks. Then there is a change in carbohydrates during ripening of fruit. The carbohydrate in the fruit or vegetables are present in the form of cellulose or pectin or tannin, but as the fruit ripens, these cellulose, starch, tannin and pectin etc., they changes into soluble sugars, and as a result of this there is an increase of sweetness, and there is a change in color of the fruits. Then there is a change in the texture of the fruits as they ripens, or vegetables as they ripens, and this is because of the change of pectin and tannins into they get degraded, and as a result of this the texture of the fruit, it becomes more soft. Then there is a change in flavor because of the synthesis of several volatile compounds during ripening. For example, ethylene and the amyl esters of formic acid, valeric acid citric acid and caprylic acid are synthesized during ripening, and as a result of this there is a pleasant flavor in fruits and also sometimes some of the vegetables. Then pigments, carotenoids and certain other pigments, there is a synthesis, great synthesis or synthesis to a large extent during ripening of these pigments, and as a result of this there is a change in the color of fruits and they become more attractive in appearance and in color. Then there is a change in organic acids. In unripened fruit, different organic acids like malic acid, tartaric acid, citric acid is present in abundant amount. But as the fruit ripens, these organic acids are degraded and there is a decrease in the acidity of fruits and there is an increase in sweetness, because these acids, organic acids, are converted into sugars, and as a result of that there is a sweet taste develops in the fruit. There is a flavor also changes because of the change in organic acid. There is a decrease in the acidity. Then the nitrogenous compounds, because of the presence of different enzymes in fruits and vegetables, the nitrogen compounds, protein particularly, they get degraded into amino acids, and as a result of this sometimes there is an increase in nitrogen, in the amount of percentage of nitrogen, sometimes there is a decrease, sometimes there is an increase, and sometimes in some fruit there is no effect on the nitrogen content. Then tannins and other polyphenol compounds, they are present in abundant amount in unripened fruit, but as the fruit ripens, the tannins and other polyphenolic compounds, their concentration is decreased and they get degraded into other compounds. Then enzymes activity, in case of unripened fruit, these enzymes are present, particularly the oxidative enzymes like catalase and peroxidase. Their concentration increases as the fruit ripens, particularly in the Neelam and Alfonso varieties of mango. There is a tremendous increase in these two enzymes. The other enzymes, the hydrolytic and glycolytic enzymes, they also get increased during ripening of fruits. Transminase enzyme also get the concentration of transminase enzyme also increases, and it converts protein into amino acid. The composition changes during growth and ripening. The carbohydrate, starch, cellulose and pectin, they changes, I have told you, into soluble sugars. Organic acids, they changes into sugars, and as a result of this there is a decrease in acidity, particularly in the mango there is an increase in sugar during ripening, and also there is a increase in proteins and amino acids, but in certain fruits there is a decrease in protein and amino acid during ripening. The lipids content of fruits also changes during ripening. Say mango, there is an increase in free fatty acids and neutral lipids as they ripens, but in fatty foods, avocado, there is a decrease in the lipid content. The chlorophyll disappears as the fruit ripens, and as a result of this the green color of food is changed into red color or orange color or the pink color, etc. Now anthocyanin and flavonoids, these compounds, they are synthesized during ripening of the fruit, and they also impart different colors to the fruits. Pectic substances, the total pectin decreases, but there is an increase in the soluble lactate and proteinates as the fruit ripens. The protopectin is decreased as a result of decrease in the chain length and loss of methyl group. Then volatile product, methylene and the amyl esters of formic acid, valeric acid and capric acid, they increases as the fruit and vegetables they ripens. Then in summary, I will conclude that food chemistry and food physiology are important branches or components of food science, while food chemistry deals with composition of food and properties of the food. Physicochemical changes which takes place during handling, processing and storage of food and monitoring of adulterants and toxicants. Then food physiology deals with the growth and development of fruit and vegetables and post-harvest changes in them.
Now the why the chemistry is important, like Dr. Sidhu mentioned, like for the food processing, we want to know why. The why comes from the food chemistry component of the things. He explained us that what is the importance of food science. Then dealing all the aspects about the composition, then the changes which take place in during the physiological changes and the safety aspects, all those aspects he has covered. With this, we thank you for this important component of the food chemistry and physiology, the block 1, which gives an overview to the food chemistry and food physiology.